with your host, Felix, and co-host, Dr. Mark. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rev. And it's going to have an echo, but it will not be broadcasted. Well, Dr. Mark, or the doc, I should say, for this broadcast. Good evening, and how are you tonight?
Confused.
You're confused. Why are you confused?
Why are we not broadcasting?
We are broadcasting.
You just said we're not broadcasting.
No, you said we're not echoing. I said we're not echoing.
I hear an echo.
That's only because you're hearing what we're saying. Take off your microphone and you don't hear an echo anymore, do you?
You're right, because I don't have my headset on.
Exactly. Now you understand. It has nothing to do with...
I hope this works. That's all I have to say.
You know, ladies and gentlemen...
Let's tell folks why we're having this little extra 30 minutes or so.
Well, we're having an extra 30 minutes because we're just gluttons for punishment, I guess. We broadcast...
No. Forget about the problems.
No, we...
Let's get right to the topic. We don't have time to give explanations.
Okay. As you probably, ladies and gentlemen, know, Mark and I, once in a while, put another show on. We call it The Rebellious Rev and The Doc. And I'm the Rebellious Rev.
But in this case, usually I'm the Doc. But in this case, I think I'm being more rebellious than the Rebellious Rev.
So we're both going to be the Rebellious Revs.
Tonight, at least.
At least. And my whole point of this show tonight is ordination, becoming an internet priest, an internet Jedi, and 100 other things you could become.
Well, the bottom line, the topic itself reads, should people be ordained on the internet? Do you think it's proper? And in the description, Felix and I are asking, how would you feel about having a person officiate at your wedding or at a funeral of one of your loved ones who was ordained on the internet? Do you think that is giving the proper respect to the occasion?
Well, Mark, that is actually the whole point of the internet ordination. It was because if you have a daughter and you want to perform, or son, you want to perform their wedding, you become ordained. It's very low cost, and you can officiate the wedding legally.
Well, I feel I have to, I know I've said it before when we did a show on the Rebellious Rev and the Doc. My daughter in Ohio was actually married in Boston because she and her husband were living in Boston at the time. And a friend of theirs, a good friend of theirs, had himself ordained for 24 hours in the state of Massachusetts, which is a little different. In the state of Massachusetts, any person can be ordained and given the right to marry someone, and it's perfectly recognizable and legal. So if somebody can do that in a state, why not? I mean, I'm posing the question here, why not be ordained on the internet and be allowed to marry people? I mean, it is registered, it is recognized.
It's legal. No, that's not my point. First thing is, what the state of Boston does is they have
the city of Boston.
City of Boston, sorry, and the state of Massachusetts, it has to be it's probably a state law, I would assume.
It is.
They're not allowed to ordain anybody. What they're giving you, they're making you a justice of the peace for one day.
Exactly.
And let you perform the marriage. And the difference is, originally the ULC, Universal Life Church, was formed, I think, in 1950 57 or 67, and it was taken very lightly, and people joined us just for that reason. That's the Long Island Railroad you're hearing, and we can't fight that sound, so we're going to let it pass by.
No, those are really freight cars. That's how you and I travel when we go from one state to the other. We share space with the cows.
That is a long train again. Anyway, so what happens is it happened that they started doing this, and they collected a nominal fee of $30. And I think they ordain people. But most of the people don't have followers. They're not real. They're not pretending to be priests or.
Well, it's really meant for people who have no real affiliation with any organized religion per se, and are giving a friend, a member of the a person at the wedding a chance to giving them the honor of marrying them. That's all.
Well, that's basically some people like the idea of being called, getting a little card that says I'm a priest or whatever, and
I know why you did it.
I wanted the parking permit.
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was going to say.
But anyway, the point is, it was done in that way, and I think these things have bloomed where I think they're probably 20, 30, 40, 50 million people who are ordained ministers on the ULC title. Now, a few years later, there was an offshoot, and another ULC came up, but this is the same premise. And you'll know that Conan O'Brien did it on TV. He became an ordained priest with one of these organizations, and you can become an ordained, ordained anything you want. You can call yourself ordained Jedi or ordained, I don't know, any name you could think of practically.
And everything but a dude.
And they'll probably become a ordained dude.
But that's coming soon.
They'll give you any name you want, basically. It doesn't matter. You can be ordained devil. They really don't care. And in most states, with their ordination and with that certificate, you can marry people, and you can perform funerals or anything else, because there's nobody's going to tell you if you can do a funeral or not. It's up to you what you want to do.
The dead person doesn't know.
It's if you want to do a funeral or something else, or even if you want to do a baptism and stuff like that.
I want to see one thing. I'd love to see you do a bris. I think you would probably turn a boy into a girl real fast.
No, you can see me becoming a chicken very fast. But wait a second, this is what I'm going to be sounding like. As I'm running. But anyway, the whole concept was the freedom of religion. I think they even have some actual churches. Brick, as they're called, brick and mortars, where they actually have their services, but they're all non-denominational,
What do you say, rigor mortis?
Rigor mortis?
Did you say
brick and mortar?
I thought you said rigor mortis.
Brick and mortar. That's what they call it. It's a brick and mortar. Which
What's that?
When they say you have a brick and mortar church, that means you actually physically have a house of worship. A lot of these...
But you can call your own house a house of worship.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is some of these organizations have an actual church or a temple or whatever it is that people can physically walk into.
Well, I think rigor mortis sounded a lot better.
Okay. But I'm saying, I mean, they actually, they have, and they may even have some followers, but most of these churches don't, organizations don't have any followers. Everybody's an ordained minister, something. So it really means it's just a way of performing a wedding for somebody or for whatever other reason you have. What are you doing for a joke? People have broken the law and had the goats and sheep ordained.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, it does. It's a joke.
I think you're really straying off the. This is a serious question being asked.
Well, the problem is,
we don't give a damn about goats and sheep.
No, this is one of the problems that they made. That people were making fun of them, that they were ordaining. This is
but we're talking about the more serious person now.
No, I'm saying legally there was a battle with the courts as to the Freedom of Religion Act, and if there should be a church considered a church of religion because they were ordaining animals. But the ruling was no, they were not ordaining animals. People were making up names for their animals, and they would ordain Joe Goat. And nobody would know who Joe Goat is. And since these organizations they don't do any kind of background check as to who you are.
Except Rebellious Rev, this is, I think, straying way off the topic of how do our listeners feel about having a person ordained by the internet and having them be allowed to marry them or preside at a funeral.
How the heck
or any
do I
kind
know? We don't have any listeners calling in. What do I know what they think? If somebody would call in at 646-595-3275, then maybe we'll hear what they...
Well, I think we should make a call and wake somebody up.
No, I'm not waking up anybody this time of night. That would be very rude of me. It's 11:47, but I don't mind.
You are bad.
But I don't mind throwing him a quick blurb. Let's see.
We are broadcasting live for another 30 minutes. Do you have anything to say? The topic is religion on the internet. Or should people be ordained on the internet? By the internet. After all, we should ask Al Gore. He invented the internet, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought I was the one that actually invented it.
No, you invented the esoteric ministry.
No, that's going back to the times of Christ and before.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's just one of the oldest religions in the world.
Esoteric ministries? Mm-hmm. I better do some research of my own.
Yep.
If I'm going to keep up with the Rebellious Rev here.
Okay, we just notified one of our regular callers that we are on.
But don't hold your breath, folks.
Don't hold your breath, you won't be calling it. So, but the whole point is...
Actually, this would be a good topic to take up with Dr. Don.
Yeah, it would be. That's for another call. But the point is, it's done, it was originally done sort of as a little bit of a joke, and people started, getting into it and doing weddings, and it's a lot. The ULCs are probably, I think, legal in about 47 or 48 states to marry people, and in some places,
I understand in West Virginia you could marry a goat.
You could be a goat. The goat can marry you. What do you mean? Joe Goat can ordain it. Could be the ordained minister. But anyway, that was the whole premise of this ULC. And there have been offshoots, and there have been other people, and basically all they're doing is, in my opinion, is just trying to get a buck out of you. They form a non-profit organization.
Well, I heard that you do this for nothing. You said that and I think that that's very admirable of you. The Rebellious Rev has said that he will not take any monetary fee for presiding at a funeral or marrying you. It's
no funerals. I only do marriages.
Well, wait. It's just that he requires expenses for his travel, and he expects an invitation to the wedding so he can partake of the party and get a good meal. And if he has to be put up for the night, it's usually at the expense of the either parents of the bride and groom or the bride and groom themselves. And the Rebellious Rev will be more than happy to preside at a wedding.
And last but not least, I am restricted to where I can actually do it. It is normally the Caribbean.
Only warm climates. If Sarah Palin called him up, he would not go to Alaska.
I've opened up a little bit more. I will do part of Central America. Costa Rica is now open.
That's because it's season.
Tahiti.
You and Mutiny on the Bounty,
I'm okay
HMS Bounty.
I'm okay with that. I would actually do it in Iceland because I like Iceland.
How about South Pacific? You would sing Some Enchanted Evening.
Fiji would be fine. But I would even consider the Keys in Florida.
What keys? The key to get into your house, or what?
Well, that's my side job. But anyway, so that's my that's our advertisement for the night. We now had our commercial.
I just want to tell the people that the doc here has 8 more minutes before the witching hour, at which time he turns into a mouse, which is usually what he is when he goes home to the missus. So I just want to let you know that my time is very precious and very limited right now.
And I appreciate that. And I am going to ask you to just take over for about 2 minutes there. And give me your opinion about the getting ordained, and would you want to maybe be ordained to marry your kids when it's time, if you'd be interested in that?
Well, I tell you, I know that my son would probably laugh, both my sons. My wife certainly would not approve, I'll tell you that right now. And even myself, I think I'm a little bit old-fashioned when it comes to that. I think it was fine for my daughter because that's what she and her husband wanted. Neither one of them being very religious and both being of different religions. It certainly saved the problem of finding a chaplain or a minister and a Reformed rabbi to officiate at the service. But I know that my son's future wife's family would prefer a rabbi, and I think my wife and I would too. I think that's probably what we would sort of expect. I have nothing else to say. Don't give me one of these. Well, what do you want? What?
Well, I'll tell you, Doc. I think I can take care of that situation. I can have you ordained as a rabbi, and you would be recognized actually in the Jewish religion as a rabbi. Would you reconsider that?
Well, I don't know. I might specialize in performing a bris. I'd like nothing more than to cut a few people down there. Not babies, preferably adults. I wouldn't mind castrating a few of them, but no, I don't think so. I would prefer that as the old commercial for I forgot which financial institution, where they say they've earned it. I prefer my rabbis to be college educated and ordained by, the proper, go through the proper, whatever.
Proper
procedures. Follow the proper procedures.
Well, the problem is, and this is how these churches get away with it. What do you mean? That's me. The problem is the way these churches work, and why it does work, because they are legally, they're all legal, and they can do it.
Well, you asked for my opinion, and I gave it to you. That's all.
No, okay.
That's how I feel.
The answer is no.
Tell me, have you mentioned this to your son? What would he do?
He'd laugh at me also.
Because I did mention to my son about you, and he did laugh. Laughed very, very hard, very loud. I must say.
That's fine. But you see, he doesn't realize that I'm a rabbi. Wait a second. We have another caller.
I don't believe this.
All right.
It's a little late for me.
And good evening. You are live. Can you hear me?
I think he's
Why
gone.
you guys aren't so late? I was about to go to bed and I got word that you were on the radio.
Well, that's why they called you. We had some technical difficulties, and what we decided to do is to try to do another short broadcast and to see what the problems were and try to get the kinks out.
In fact, the show that we're doing now, which we really only have about 30 minutes, so you should be able to go back to sleep, would be perfect for Dr. Don, which has to do with would you recognize somebody who is ordained on the internet as performing a marriage for you or a funeral?
You're first off, you gotta hang up, or I gotta call back. You're having technical problems. It's a big double echo.
You guys, you're getting an echo.
Yes, echo. You're getting, I'm getting an
That's
echo.
what we got.
I don't know if it's me or you. They're just double. You can't listen like this. Double, triple echo.
Or double, triple echo. Okay, you know what you do? Let me think about this for a second.
I'll call you back.
Okay. No, you don't have to call back. Don't call back. Just hang on.
Folks, I just want to say goodnight. It's the witching hour. And I do apologize. But I know my wife will beat me with a wet noodle if I don't get home.
Hey, Dan, is it any better now? Dan?
No, I got the double echo, triple echo.
Dan?
He hung up.
No, he's still on.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me clear?
Dan?
Because I hear you guys double echo.
Felix.
Good night, Doctor. Dan. Hey, Dan, you there?
I'm here, but I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on, Dan. I just realized something. I didn't have my microphone on, the proper microphone, so I can't hear you. Give me 2 seconds and we'll be, Is the echo gone, Dan?
Yeah, the echo's gone, but you're gone.
No, now I'm back. But the echo is
really.
gone. Well, that's good to know.
Echo's gone, but again, you're gone. I can hardly hear you.
Okay, well, that's because my microphone is probably turned down. Because I'm switching modes. How about now?
It's a little better, but you're very far away.
Okay, you tell me when it sounds better.
What happened to Dr. Mark? Where'd he go?
He ran home because if he gets home after midnight, his wife be living on him.
Your phone, Felix, I'm helping you out here. It's horrible. I mean, you're...
Okay. How
Echo
about
came
now?
back a little bit.
How about the echo now? Any
It
better?
sounds like crap.
The echo still
No,
is
it
bad?
sounds like shit.
Yeah, 'cause
Sounds bad, Felix.
you sound great. That's the funny part.
And you sound horrible. But love to talk to you, but it's hard to talk to you when when just you sound bad.
Okay, if it improves at all,
I
tell
want
me.
to talk. I do want to talk to you, but I guess don't bother because you just sound like, I hate to say it, you sound like crap.
Is it sounding any better now?
No.
No change at all.
No.
Okay. This is very straight.
This is pretty much testing 1, 2, 3 with you. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's doesn't. I might sound good to you, but you guys sound horrible when I called before. I don't think it's my phone.
Can you hear me? Dan?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
We're gonna go.
Testing.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go a different way, Dan.
Oh God! I don't know what happened to you, Felix. It's bad. It's,
Well, that's why we have the show. We're trying to improve our quality of our show, and it's not working.
yeah, no, I'm trying to help you here. That's why I'm on the phone with you because you hear me, I can't hear you.
Dan, give me 2 minutes. You will not be able to. I'll not be able to hear you for about a minute, because I have to do something of.
It sounds like if I wanted to describe it to you, it sounds like you're under a desk with a muzzle on your face, and that's what it sounds like. Sounds like you're hiding under your desk with a muzzle on when you talk.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Well, I'll
Dan?
keep talking, let you know.
I'm talking. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, better. The hell of a lot better than before.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I gotta. You know, the better the equipment that I put in, the worse it sounds.
Yeah, oh no, you sound good now. I can hear you now, clear.
Yeah, well, I changed the whole way I was doing things just now.
Why did you guys go on so late?
Well, we did one show before actually, and there was a problem with it. It wasn't coming. We were having technical problems, so we shut it off. We made some adjustments and tried to go back on to see how we sound. And now we know we didn't sound too good.
well, you should have called me earlier to remind me that you're on. I would have called in.
I know, but as I said, we were having problems, so you wouldn't have been able to call in, I don't think. Yeah, well, so basically what we're doing now is I went straight on the telephone line with the show.
Yeah, no, well, I know it's, some issues out there in the world that to talk about, but I think because you can't talk if no one hears it.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why we erased the last show we did completely because it was so bad. For some reason, there's a bad echo problem, and we haven't figured it out why yet. It just started, so.
I have it all the time on my cell phone sometimes. That echo, I hate it.
Yeah.
Like double, triple echo. I hate those things.
And what happens a lot of times is you hear the echo, but when we actually broadcast the show, there's no echo. It's very strange.
Yeah, right now you're fine. You're perfectly fine right now.
You know, right now we're working from telephone to telephone, so it's.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're We're holding a conversation online through a telephone line, actually.
Oh.
Blog Talk Radio connected you through a telephone line, and it connected me through a telephone line. And I turned off the host, which is working on the microphone. So the actual host, the one that's supposed to be broadcasting, is turned off. The one that's making all the echo and everything.
All right.
But if this is the way it's got to be done to make it work, this is the way we're going to do it. I'll figure it out eventually. I've only been doing it a year, and I still haven't figured it out.
What happened to Spreaker, though? .com Spreaker.
Well, Spreaker, I love Spreaker, but we can't make phone calls on Spreaker. That's why I switched to blog.
Oh.
Spreaker quality is much better, but you can't make any phone calls. So it really doesn't serve a purpose for us. Unless I can figure out how to do it. And so far, I haven't figured it out.
Well, you used to make phone calls on Spreaker. You were able to call.
But remember how bad the quality was? You couldn't hear anybody. And the quality of the phone calls here is much better. I don't know. Maybe I should get somebody that actually knows what they're doing to set us up once and for all,
You think, Felix?
But this is an amateur show, I'm not going to spend money on a real technician.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I didn't know you were on.
Yeah. Well, no, we're just a little. We're all off. Actually, the show goes back on again in a little while, but you can't call in because it's a blog. It's really strange. But anyway, we were talking tonight is about getting ordained online.
Ordain online.
Yeah, which is a big. There's like 40 million people probably right now somewhere in there that were ordained online. Conan O'Brien did it live on TV. While you just fill out some papers, just go online, you give them your name and everything, and puff, you're an ordained minister.
That's Conan O'Brien did that?
Yeah, he did it as a joke. He did it on his show. And,
okay.
Matter of fact, I think President Clinton at one time did it. And what that does is, in reality, after that you can legally, marry anybody. Or
can I become ordained minister online and get divorced myself?
Good question. But I'm going to tell you no.
I don't want to keep talking to you, because I know I just one-on-one, you and I. It's not, I'm not on a show. It's on your phone line.
No, you are on the show. You're broadcasting.
Oh.
Oh, no. I just turned off the microphone, and I called in like a guest, just like you do.
Well, like, if I'm a guest, then we can talk. I'm confused about what's going on with Russia. Putin, kind of confused, but at the same time, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, he's a bully.
He's no different than Hitler. He wants the country back.
Well, but is that a good thing, though? Ukraine has their own language, has their own, their own government. They were never really part of Russia. Only they'll take. You got to remember, in most of Europe, especially Eastern Europe, they keep dividing these countries, as different people, take over after a war. Part of Ukraine is now Poland, and after World War II, Poland gave up part of Poland and became the Ukraine. Ukraine was.
And now we're sending troops over there.
No, there's no troops there.
No, well, Poland, I think we're sending troops over there, I think.
I think Poland should. I think every country in Europe should send troops there as a show of solidarity that he cannot just do whatever he wants. That, he's, listen, it's not like any other bully, Bullies are only bullies if there isn't a bigger bully around.
The problem with what Putin is doing the problem is that the world has changed. Germany got away with it because they could, and now he's doing the same thing. But now we have obviously, as you know, globalization. That everyone's together. You can't just separate yourself from everybody. You get sanctions.
Well,
the U.S. stance is going to be really interesting because I don't know what Obama's thinking. I don't know. He can't. What are they going to send troops to Russia?
No. But what they've done is put financial restrictions on the country, on Russia, and actually their rating dropped today, which is very important, for financing. And with the drop of the rating, they lost $76 billion just in one day.
Well, I'm not. Putin is doing a real Putin. I can't pronounce his last name right. Putin is doing. They did time it right as far as his stronghold. America looks weak to him.
Yeah,
and
of course.
So we look weak. He saw what we did. We pulled out of that fight, and we look weak to him and to Russia. He wants to be all powerful and mighty, and look at Russia. So
you're right.
He saw what happened. We look weak.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Russians thinking. Though we're a big world together. Now, we don't need some big dictator coming across. He's making a secret. He got us at a good time, or come to power at a time.
But I think with the what do you call it? With us imposing, financial, what do you call it? Restrictions on the country, but that's not the right word.
Oh, I know what you mean, though, but no.
Yeah, it's hurt them. Right, as I said, in one day they lost $67 billion because their financial rating was dropped, and if they go down one more, they're going to be like completely undesirable to invest in. And that's going to hurt them a lot. Already, a lot of companies pulled out of the Russian market because of the new rating in one day.
Well, that's also because, Felix, we put, Obama or the United States and the world put the sanctions on.
Well, exactly, that's the word, the sanctions. And it's working. It's hurting Russia a lot. And he's not going to be able to afford to run the army much longer if he keeps having these sanctions. The big problem is the sanctions are not going to work completely because most of Europe depends on Russian oil.
Well, that's his strength.
And what the Europeans have to do is to bite the bullet.
They won't
start ordering. They're getting the fuel from other points like the Middle East, which is more expensive and less convenient for them.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Felix. I don't. I know what you're saying, but I don't think.
But no, that's what's got to be done. But it's just, that's why that's what Putin is hoping for, that that these countries do give in to and don't enforce the sanctions, because they do want the Russian oil, which is less expensive and more plentiful than the stuff coming out of the Middle East. You got to remember, Russia's the biggest producer of oil in the world.
What I fear is what was told to our country, or biggest famous line is that we're waking up a sleeping giant.
Well, he's not a giant yet, but he wants to become a giant.
He wants to be a giant, right? He's got people behind him to do it. So U.S. is, as great as great as we think we are, Felix, I mean, you can awake a sleeping giant.
Well, the problem is, and if we do this right, you need money to do it. And if the restrictions keep working, he needs money, and he needs to be part of the financial system of the rest of the world. He cannot be on his own.
Well, that's why I think he's going to fail, only because of that. Because it's not like Hitler. I mean, it looks like a Hitler to me, as far as just, he wants his nation strong. His people want a leader, and he's doing it. And America looks right now. So, but I don't know if he's going to succeed, because I think
Sorry about that, Long Island Railroad.
Are you on the railroad, or you live by the railroad?
I'm riding the railroad as I broadcast it, the way it feels like.
Yeah. So,
90 seconds.
I just think it's good timing. He did perfect time as far as what he's doing, but at the same time, we're too globalized to deal with it.
He can't, it's hard for a country like that for him to do it now, because as long as the rest of the world holds together, he's going to hurt, because everybody is dependent on everybody these days.
60
and he
seconds.
needs the U.S. dollar. He needs the euro. He needs that for his country to continue, growing his armies and paying the troops. If he can't pay his troops and he can't feed them, they're not going to be his troops any longer.
Right.
There's going to be a revolution.
I do admire his ambition, his admiration, and to make his country strong, but same time, it's not World War II. It's too many years went by.
It's absolutely. He's looking to
10 seconds.
Right now, he's considered a regional power, and he wants to become a world power.
But they were.
They used to be a world power, before they got split up. Now they're not considered a world power now they're considered a regional power. And Putin, the ex-KGB man, he wants to be on top of the world.
Yeah, right. Again, we saw this just like I said, with Hitler. He's like saying, I see the same thing.
Well, I think Putin is a little more realistic than Hitler was.
Well, Hitler was, I was always went to the extreme, but you can't be. Russia cannot be what it once was. It can't.
No, I don't think it's possible. But I can listen. I can see him grabbing a little part of this country, a little bit of this country, but he can't do much because these countries don't want him there, and he cannot have a war in each one of his borders.
I'm curious what our government's going to do, Felix. I'm really curious what we're going to do with this mess.
Well,
Ukraine.
we're doing it now. We're giving them now. Well, the sanctions is the way we're going.
No, but
The sanctions is the only way to go because we're not going to go in there with our troops.
that'd be the dumbest thing ever.
Yes, so you do sanctions, and but you need everybody cooperating. The European community has to become one, and all the ex-Soviet Union countries have to unite now,
Right.
and they all have to, say no more, and that's it's the only way.
It's kind of scary for not just my for the world. I mean, just what's going on.
Yeah.
I know
No.
sanctions.
Yeah. Now, did you say you heard that Poland sent troops into Ukraine?
I think we sent troops to.
No.
No, I think we sent Feeler. I think we sent troops. Our military.
Where, to Poland?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't send them to Ukraine.
No, not to Ukraine. To Poland.
Yeah, well, originally we were putting up defensive missiles in Poland to protect them against attack from Russia. And under pressure of Putin, our buddy Obama broke down and stopped the action. But I think it's time to put those missiles back in there. They're not offensive missiles. It's a defensive missile system. In case you get attacked, it'll knock out the missiles that are attacking you, and airplanes and anything else that comes at you.
Yeah, Felix, my background, you know a little bit about my background, but I got definitely German blood in me, and my in Dumergé in Germany, Germany was forced by America to put missiles, and I touched them, missile launchers in their farmlands towards Russia. And I don't want to do it again. And I touched the missiles, I really did, in the farmlands, and they were there.
Well, I don't think we forced anybody to do it.
Well, Germany we did. We did.
How do we force them?
Well, Devil Max do their game, Felix. I don't know, but
it was. They probably asked for them because everybody when Russia was strong, everybody wants to have defensive missiles, pointing towards Russia.
Right. So it was, for me as a kid, Felix, that was the weirdest thing ever. Touching those missiles in the farmyards. It was weird.
Or were you on vacation there?
Family retreat. It's my old farm, and they had rocket launchers in his backyard, and pointed towards Russia. So I don't know. Maybe the same. I don't want the same thing to happen again. I feel like this is a real. I mean, for me to remember as a kid, I'm talking 1980. I don't know, 87, 85, that range. And I touched them. There was these tubes, missiles on them, pointed towards Russia. And all they had to do, they had enough to actually not do anything. That was military, obviously.
Yeah.
And rocket launch, their fucking backyard. Sorry, my language. They had rocket launches in their backyard.
Right. Well, I don't know, but we are just about out of time for this one because this show was not scheduled for a long time. We're actually and we shall talk, and we'll talk. Our next live show is Monday. But
Felix, I don't have my coffee yet.
I think I have 3 cups today already.
All right.
So I appreciate you calling in, and we'll be talking. We'll probably maybe we'll talk to you Monday.
All right.
And thanks again for calling.
All right. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. You all have a good night.
Talk to you later, guys.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.